Okay, welcome to Gru. I'm Rocco Cross, the host of the Gru Room, and thank you so much for taking time out of your day and coming on the show.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to it. And oh yeah, I forgot to ask the if you could say your name for the people and who you are.
My name is Patti Negri. I talk to dead people. No, I don't know. I am a psychic. I am a medium. I am a witch. I'm kind of known as a Hollywood good witch. I'm most known for my last 7-8 years on ghost adventures regularly, but I'm all over the place. Here, there, everywhere, bathroom walls across America. Yeah, that's who I am, Patti Negri. I have a school. I have a network. I have a dachshund. Life is good.
Exactly. Awesome. Like that's what I wanted to talk. Like, how did you get involved with the television show Ghost Adventures?
It just kind of happened. I've always been this person talking to spirits, my magical practice, but I kept it really separate until about 2008 because I ran a corporate production company, and I thought, yeah, the kind of shows I produced and stuff is like, these people cannot know that I talk to dead people and dance around bonfires in a cloak. Just better keep that quiet, private, don't lie about it. But in 2008, there was this big corporate crash in the world. And at the same time, reality TV was going, dee, 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 dee. So I got a call from somebody way pre, and they said, "Oh, Patti, we know your ability with seances to lift the veil. We really need you to do a seance on this TV show." I'm like, "Oh no, that's my private life. I can't do that." "Oh, please, please, please." I'm like, no, I just can't. And I'm looking at my empty calendar and going about all my shows. And I'm hey, please. Well, what's the name of the show? And they go, "It's called Mobile Home Disaster on country music television."
Oh.
I'm like, nobody will watch that. Who in the world would watch a show called Mobile Home Disaster on country music television? Well, okay, maybe I'll do it. I did it, and it was like the funnest thing I'd ever done. All my theatrical background of sketch and improv and getting to be my legitimate medium witch self, I got to help this human little girl who they all thought was crazy because she was drawing portals on the ceiling. I'm like, no, there's portals on the ceiling. I got to help a spirit, and they followed me around with 3 cameras. I'm like, this is great, but no more. This is it. One time. Not, I can't. So, a couple months later, it aired. I'm like, oh, that was fun, but no more. The very next morning after it aired, I get a call from my biggest corporate client that I did shows nationwide, and they're like, "Hi, Patti, I saw you on TV last night." I'm like, oh God. She's like, "I didn't know you were into the paranormal." I'm like, yeah. She's like, "Oh, the paranormal," and started telling me her first ghost encounter. I'm like, what am I doing? This is who I am. And I'm out of the closet. I'm out of the broom closet. I'm out of the psychic medium closet. And now I don't have time for my other production company because all of a sudden, since I am smack dab in the middle of Hollywood, I'm in the industry, been in the industry. So I became the person to call if they needed a psychic, or they needed a medium, or they needed a witch, or they needed spiritual guidance or something, or occult science knowledge. So, and then Ghost Adventures of several, I think not until 2000, I just worked Nicole Richie, Pit Boss, Jeff Lewis, just Bad Girls Club, just ridiculous shows that I got to bring some real magic to, ridiculously fabulous shows. But Ghost Adventures, it just would have been 2015, I think, my first one. It was just the regular thing. They were doing Haunted Hollywood, and they had heard that I had done an investigation at one of my favorite places, American Legion Hall in Hollywood, and that I had seen Charlie Chaplin, and which I didn't even know. I pointed him out in the exact chair he sat in every night and something like that. So they called me, and it would have just been a one-off. Like every episode, they have either the local expert or psychic, or they have the person who has experienced something, and you do one show and go. But I guess they figured out what I could do and who I was, whatever. So I just became the person, like 2 shows an episode for the last 8 years. And it's fun, pretty much, because that's pretty much a boys show. So that's good. Again, if they need a seance or they just, never have any idea where I'm going. And if I do, like if I say, hey, this place is really haunted, guys, you should go there, then they'll just have me explain it. They want everything so real, in the moment, legitimate, not pre-known. So I always walk in, it's like, blindfolded, thrown in the trunk if they have to. All right. And just walk in and tell us what happened. I'm always scared, like, what if I get crickets? What if I'm not intuitive today?
Yeah, exactly.
But the places are always so haunted, so vetted out in advance. It's like, oh yeah, 3 murders over here. I'll walk in, start choking, and look,
Oh my God.
So yeah, it's been crazy. It's so fun. I've got to go to crazy, wild, wonderful places, and it's just fun. The craziest, like from the Cecil Hotel, it's like I didn't know I was going to, like, 2 hours. Can you get here in 2 hours? He didn't even tell me it was the Cecil. And once I get past the rats who didn't want to let me in because they were being possessed, it's like, and he's like, okay, 700 rooms open, 14 floors, tell us where to go. As I'm being already possessed by spirits, like, okay. And I let him right up to this room, and I go to open a window, and he thinks I'm jumping out because little beknownst to me again, I let him right to a room and a window where somebody jumped out the window, and I'm going, I got to get out of here. And I'm open the window, and Jack's screaming at me in my like trance state. I'm going, why is he screaming at me? Zach never screams at me. And it's like, she's like, sit down. I'm like, what? Okay.
Wow. Okay. I saw a clip. It was very interesting. Like you talked about Marilyn Manson's house and how his house was haunted.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's my neighbor right down the street. I was filming.
really?
Yeah, it's a house built by Charlie Chaplin in the 20s. For his girlfriend, one of his many girlfriends. He built a lot of houses and had a lot of girlfriends. But he built it, and it was a party house from day one. Mary Astor House. It looks like it was almost built by Masons. Like, oh, that's sacred geometry. That's magical. There's literally a compass painted in the floor when you walk in, like for ritual.
Oh my God.
And then after Charlie Chaplin, and then it was a party house, and then the Rolling Stones manager bought it, and the Rolling Stones stayed there. Some Papas, Grant Parsons, all these creative, high vibrant. And then they moved out, and then the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in, got too scary for him. And then my neighbor for 7 years, Marilyn Manson, moved in, and it actually got a little too scary for him after 7 years. But we were doing a seance, filming a documentary about the Mary Astor House, and this one kid got disrespectful. Those of you know the paranormal world, whatever, there's a million ways to do it, a million ways to not do it, but be disrespectful and you're in trouble. Nobody likes that, whether they're living or dead, but this one kid was getting too disrespectful. And first, cool things were happening, like the French doors would fly open and everybody'd scream, and I'm like, wow, that's like special effects, but it never fake anything. And that happened again. And then there was a speaker on the floor, that old school that came on, white noise, sounded like a spirit box. Wasn't even plugged in, which we didn't know, but it's building. I'm feeling this tension build and build and build and build. And this one kid again said something really stupid, and not him, but the cameraman facing him burst in flames.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
Caught it on camera. 2 cameras caught it. One camera started filming like the ceiling or the floor. I guess you test the metal of a camera person by a small room bursting into flames. And the poor guy who cameraman it was, who's like, he's wondering why everybody's screaming and pointing at him as his back bursts into flames. He was not standing in front of a fireplace or standing in front of a candle. And I'm like, cool, medium witch Patti becomes medic Patti, which I am. I'm EMT1 certified cardiology tech. I'm like, drop and roll. And I'm bringing in all my guardians, like, oh, no, this did not happen on my watch. You really can't burst into flame. We are not filming. I don't care what we're filming. I'm like, oh God. And I'm watching the blistering, and his shirt poofed off him like it was synthetic, but it was cotton. It should not have went poof like a nylon. Yeah. We're done. But the cameraman, who is a super skeptic, Laurent Malachi, dear creative guy, he goes, oh no, I'm okay. We got to do this. He's like, spontaneous combustion, like Spinal Tap. I got a sweater. I could take this burn. And I'm like looking at the blistering on his back. And I'm like, okay. So I talked to the spirits. I'm like, come on, guys, we don't even going to get rid of you afterwards. We know it's your house.
Yeah.
They want. And I knew the kid who caused it was no longer going to be a problem, right? He was like scared to death choir boy in the corner now. But like, okay, he's fine. So we finished it, but crazy, a glass flew out of a cupboard from like 15 feet away. They tried to push that same cameraman off the cliff. I'm like, we had to make him a little mojo bag of protection. But the happy ending to all this was he was so inspired. The cameraman, like, he became a believer immediately, and he's a filmmaker. He's got famous on that Brony film, like adult fans of My Little Pony and all sorts. So he wrote a script about a TV psychic medium, basically me, who did every reality show, and then a portal opened, and then it becomes one of those like funny. I like funny, spooky horror films.
Okay.
Well, before, and he showed me his back. He was so inspired. Where the blistering had been, literally looked like he had got a tattoo of a dragon. Open mouth, sharp teeth, winged head into the shape of a serpent. And that is the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I work dragon energy. I have dragons everywhere. Ooh, look, big scary dragons. It's crossroads magic. I'm a dragon magic girl. I'm looking at his back. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That is about the coolest thing I have ever seen. And he thought so too. So there he wrote this script. He actually wrote it with Stephen Norrington, the guy who wrote the Blade series and the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And they haven't done it yet. I hope they do. But I did sit down with him for like 5 hours. And I go, oh, Laurent, you cannot say that on camera. He's like, but you said that. I go, I know I did. That does something to the energy. You don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? Happens all the time if they don't have a good consultant on there. Spirit, demon, angel, nothing knows the difference of an actor reading specific magical words off a page than if it's something really done. That's why so many horror films get cursed. So we change them to, so if it won't be cursed. You know, I can make something sound scary and magical that isn't going to open a portal to hell.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's like, wow, spontaneous combustion.
Yeah, that is crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah,
And
even for me, and I've seen crazy stuff every day. It's like, yeah,
oh yeah, I'm sure you do.
the topper.
And you have your own coven too, right? Like you have a coven.
I do. I've been working with. I've been a witch since like the 80s. It's a very eclectic path. I have a regular group that I work with, and I have my witches movie coven, which is just my Wednesday live podcast, which not a real coven, but we're a witches movie coven. There's 5 of us witch types who talk movies, witches in movies, from Wizard of Oz through all the scary, with the good ones, the bad ones. And so we do that live on YouTube and Facebook. So that's the witches movie. That's where you get the popcorn and you wrap up in our witches movie coven blanket. Yeah, it's fun.
Oh wow.
Light about life. Yeah.
And do you celebrate the solstice too? Like,
yeah, well, there's 8 Sabbats. 4 of them are the equinoxes and solstice: spring, fall, winter, summer, you know, like usually around the 21st of each month. And there's 4 in between, which strangely coincide with all the holidays everybody does. Like Yule is, oh wait, the same as Christmas. And Astara, oh wait, that's Easter. That's where the bunnies and eggs came from. So all the little Beltane, May Day within it. So yeah, I do the Sabbats.
wow, okay. And I saw on your page on that you did something with this lady, and you blew her mind. Like you were holding these 2 things, and
Lilly Singh.
yeah,
Yes. She's
yeah.
so cute. Oh my God. She is one of my favorite people. She actually was the first woman to get a late night talk show on NBC. And that was from that. She's a famous, she's Canadian comedian, talk show host, actress, done amazing, you know, for women in the industry. And yes, and I was clearing her house and yeah, showed her what dowsing rods were. I have dowsing rods at hand, and I did actually then go to do her real house, because that was her set house, which was a real house that had a fabulous ghost. If you ever watch that episode, I think I have a lot of it on my YouTube page. It's crazy. We met the spirit around the pool of that house, and then we went home. If you go earlier, just a tiny clip on my YouTube or my Instagram, you see where I saw somebody doing little footsteps, and she at her house had like barefoot footsteps. Like she's like, ah! But she's great.
Oh, so how does that work? Like the what do you call that? The two things you hold?
Dowsing rods, divination rods, dowsing rods. They've actually been around forever, and used by not weird woo-woo people. Contractors use them to find water lines. You could use them to go find what they're called water witches, to find water in the desert if you're looking for a watering hole. They literally, I can't control them, like cross, don't cross. They're loose, you know, metal on metal. But if I go, they cross on yes, not on no. Like right now, we are literally in the same room talking to each other.
Yeah.
No, we're not crossing. We are talking to each other electronically via Zoom. Yes.
Oh my God, that.
The logo to your show behind your head is yellow. The logo behind your head to your show is purple. The logo behind your show is green. They just work. I tested them for almost a year on sports teams. I'm not a sports person. My husband is. It's like, oh, the Yankees, the Dodgers. He's like, I'm like, no, they're going to win. He's like, no, they don't win. Yeah. And they're just a tool, because we're picking up the energies, whether you're working with spirit or the energies of, we are the tool, but these are just like, we are the conduit, but they're just a tool to get us out of our own way. Like people use pendulums, or people use keyboards, which just for spirit to talk to.
Wow, that is so amazing. Oh my, that is so amazing.
Yeah. And
wow.
They work for everybody. Like I handed them to her. You know, you just got to get out of your own way energetically.
Do you ever use spirit boards too?
All the time. I've been using them safely since I was 7 or 8. The only time we had an issue again was, yes, we were using the Ouija or spirit board when the guy caught on fire. And I one time, but again, it wasn't because of the spirit board that these, I was at my own home, which is very warded, because this is what I do. But I didn't follow my own rules for a second. I was with my then producer, who quit the next day, then producer, and we were going to do not my witching hour podcast that I have now. One before that, I had a short lived called the Magic Hour, which was combining my seance work with true crime, because everybody likes true crime. So we were doing a thing on the Black Dahlia murder, which I've done Ghost Adventures at that house. I did another TV show at that house. That guy's an evil doctor, dead dude who did all that, and he did all that. So anyway, but I hadn't set up my words, and my producer wanted to, I want to talk to her friend. We got the spirit board out, and it was just like texting every time we did it, but I had not set my words, and we were going to do a Black Dahlia. I had Linda Deutsch come over, who's like the world's most famous woman reporter from AP, Associated Press, because she's really into this paranormal, and she's an expert on famous murders. Started out Charles Manson when she was like 18 years old, to all the OJ Simpson, Michael Jackson. She's like the female crime reporter. So she was coming over, but first. So anyway, I had not set up my words, and we're working on the spirit board. All of a sudden, Dr. George Hodel, in death, pushed me so hard into the back of my chair. I heard this crack, 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 and right at my ribs. And I'm like, oh, and I'm start melting down to the floor. And my producer, she's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not. And I always say I'm okay. I could have my arm cut off. I'm like, it's a flesh wound. I'm fine. We'll go on. I'm good. But I'm like, no, I thought it had broke my ribs. I had to go to urgent care. It didn't break my ribs, but it ripped all the cartilage off my lower ribs. Wow. An invisible person pushed me so hard into this chair. He's evil, and he's a doctor, so he knew where to hit.
Oh yeah.
Well, what he did to those women, much more than just the Black Dahlia. There's a lot of women that he tortured and murdered. So, so that was scary to get it in my own house. Like, no, this doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Wow.
my producer was so freaked out, and we got so much stuff on the recorder, on the EMF meter, on this. She quit the next day.
Oh
I
my
could, well,
God.
you wanted the paranormal, right?
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, what did she think was gonna happen?
I had worked for her with her for 10 years. We met on a different TV show I had literally done like 10 years before.
Yeah.
And she loved it. She would come to my seances, her and my husband, but all of a sudden something really, really happens. Bye-bye.
Yeah, like something she sees with her own eyes, like something that actually happened to her, or someone that she's standing there like that, that makes it real then.
Yeah. So
Wow.
but yeah, life is fun.
I know. And like when I saw videos where you help you you help people talk to loved ones that they lost. And when you're doing that, like how when you have to contact the spirits, like do you how are you able to do that? Like how are they able to find you in order to talk to the loved one?
But the way I do it, again, that's the mediumship part. A
Yeah.
psychic is someone who sees past, but the medium means you talk to the other side. And since I was, like I said, my first seance, I was 7. I do this lifting of the veil. Like there's a picture imagine curtain between our world and their world. You know, there's movie. Oh, the veil. Oh, since I was little, I work elementally, but I can lift the veil. So anybody in that space, all of a sudden they have the sight too, at least a little bit. They can see or sense or smell that they usually can't. So I literally work elementally and lift the veil between the worlds. And what I'm experiencing, it's kind of like a trance state. I'm like, I'm half there and half, just like with that Ghost Adventures or whatever, or a different time at the Cecil Hotel. I thought I was talking, because it's like you're kind of in one of those half dreams. I thought I was talking. I was rocking. I do rock when I'm in trance state. And I was so hard that somebody had to put their hand behind my head. And I thought I was jabbering away talking. All they heard was jabberish. That's what the overnight guys, Elton and Corey and TFI overnight, and I work with them a lot. And Corey, who I've been working with, and they hear all this, and Corey goes, we should play that backwards. They played it backwards. I was speaking English backwards. I'm like,
Wait, really?
wow. Yeah, I go, wow, I should put that on my resume. That's weird. I can't even do my alphabet backwards, really. If I was like pulled over for drinking, it's like, no, I haven't drinking, but I can't do my alphabet backwards. I have this opposite of this X, Y, Z, Z, Y, X, Y. I couldn't. So to me to speak backwards, couldn't do it. I'm like, wow. But the other side of the veil is mirror image. That's why if you do a dumb supper for somebody dead, you start with dessert, work your way back. So but that's the only time I've ever done that. And that was at the Cecil. But yeah, you help people. So it's kind of like trance state. Like when I do whether it's a big gallery with hundreds of people, or it's 13 people around a table, or it's one-on-one, like I work with people one-on-one like this, it's like I kind of remember or don't at all. So I could be watching it 5 minutes later or on TV or just the video. It's like, I don't remember any of that, do I? I don't. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna ask. Like, if someone wanted to hire you to talk to a loved one that passed, like, does it have to be in person, one on one, or you could do it through Zoom or the internet, or
Just like this. And
really?
yeah, there's no time and space on the other side. I mean, I've never tried to do it. Have I tried to do it by phone? Well, I've tried to do it by phone, but they won't be able to see if there's orbs or whatever like that. But yeah, no, I do it every day in my private practice. People get whatever they want. If they want psychic stuff, they want medium stuff, they want witchy. Okay, ethically, let's figure out why this is and switch it up. So yeah, and
Wow.
you know, And again, when we have the energy going, the veil raised, people are like, my haunted doll Belle will start moving around or
Wait,
winking.
really? Oh, that's so awesome. I love like haunted dolls and stuff like that from Annabelle, Chucky.
Yep. We just did Annabelle and the Witches Movie Coven. We did the Annabelle this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We talked about
So,
all
so,
the movies.
so you actually went and saw the real doll.
No. I have not seen the real Annabelle. No, I haven't. I would like to, but we just watched all 3 movies and talked about them on our
Oh,
Witches
the
Movie
movies,
Coven.
yeah.
The scariest doll I've ever seen is Peggy the doll in Zach's museum. Because she's the one who gives people heart attacks and makes people
What?
sick, even on video or still photo. Yeah, before Zach owned her, one of the spin-offs of Ghost Adventures called Deadly Possessions, he had brought me in to do a seance. He flew the girl who then owned Peggy, looks like this cute little blonde doll, and a girl who had been given a heart attack by Peggy, and not an old girl, and a young mom. And we all came together, and Peggy with a black thing over her head, and I'm sitting here holding a plastic doll's hand, but she was bad. She's bad. And since then, Zach spotted her, and we go in, and he has a little spirit box in there, and she starts cursing at me. That's not
Really?
Peggy, she knows me. Yeah. But the reason I even have my doll Belle is a girl in Belgium had seen on TV me doing the Peggy. And she thought, wow, if I could handle Peggy, I could handle Belle, because she had Belle for 3 years, and Belle had made her sick for 3 years, made her hair fall out, made her little
What?
kid. And I'm like, all right, send her away. And she sent her to me. And this was several years ago now. And I had never done like a Facebook Live before. I never had. And for some reason I go, I have to put this on live. Opened it up. And again, I have a lot of followers, but not that many followers. And if I do a live, it's like, oh, 300. 50,000 people watched me on my first page. It wasn't me or my energy. It was Belle. 50,000 people watched. I'm like, oh, wow. And when I got her open, it's like, oh yeah, she is dark. I could not have her in my home. So I got rid of the really bad spirit that before the sunset that day. But all of a sudden, this beautiful, sweet little girl spirit came out in her, but she still used to drain people's energy. I had to keep like all sorts of protection mechanisms. I'd keep the herb rue in a little Dixie cup by her hand, so she didn't just suck everybody's energy. But she doesn't do that anymore.
Oh,
She's
wow.
part of the family. Yeah.
Well, that's good that you got the
Yeah.
evil out of it.
Yeah. You don't, as fun as $100 are fine. They're all the rage now. I mean, everybody needs and wants a $100 apparently. Sadly, half the ones that you buy on eBay, it's like, really, I think you just went to Target and you said it was haunted.
Well,
doll.
yeah, exactly.
So check it out. It's like you're going to do better at a thrift store, antique store.
Yeah.
Probably. There is real ones out there. I don't want to say that, but really do your homework.
Well, yeah, I saw that a lot because I see, like you said, online there's a ton of people now selling dolls that are haunted and bracelets and rings that have a spirit in it, and they even have stuff now with genies, jinns, where you buy like a ring and it has the spirit of a jinn in it. Like, what do you think of
Well,
all
again,
that?
it can be real. Most are not. Just like most psychics are bad. Most mediums are fake. Okay, it's a weird industry because it's always been a scammy industry. But there are real ones. I mean, she's legitimately real, and you can buy real ones online. Just check the seller. If they've sold 912 haunted dolls, probably not. If it's somebody's like, oh, you see they're an antique collector a little bit, and then they've only had, it probably is. And use your intuition. Everybody kind of knows. I don't care if you call yourself a psychic or not. Everybody kind of knows if you listen to it with your, intuitive side and shut down your left brain. If something feels a little fishy, it probably is. If something feels you're drawn to it, it's probably right. That's even when my school, what I teach people, you guys, you're your own best dowsing rod.
Yeah, basically. Oh, wow. And what was like when you're dealing with spirits and houses, and what was like the scariest spirit like you ever encountered?
I think as far as, especially in clearing a house, uh, this, I was the Phil Spector house, he's that famous record producer from the
Mhm.
60s, and he killed a girl I knew, actually, Lana Clarkson. He had a
Oh,
castle in LA. He was still alive. This was a few years ago before he passed, but his wife, who was becoming his ex-wife, there was such a dark spirit in that castle. I had to clear that. And that was like black, oozy spirit things coming up from the ground and up from, that was really weird. That was weird. So much darkness there and so much energy sent towards there and interest. Yeah. So that was dark. Again, the Cecil Hotel has probably one of the darkest ever, like we were
oh,
talking about.
really?
And even the Black Dahlia House. So these are 3 LA places that I've actually spent time, and a lot of
Mhm.
time, at the Cecil and a little bit Black Dahlia. There's some dark stuff. Yeah. But I like happy ghosts, even though on TV and YouTube, they don't ever want to go. You got to go to the insane asylum, and you got to go to the prison, and then you got to go to the evil serial killer's house, because everybody wants to talk to just like news. It's like, how many people dead today? But
Right.
I really like hanging out like the Hollywood Roosevelt or the Hollywood Towers with fun ghosts that like to party and have a good time and hang from the chandelier. They're just as interesting. I promise. If I ever have my own show, I want to show the fun ghosts. Whee!
Oh my God, it's so funny. I like that. And like, is this to do what you do, you have to have a gift. Like, is, is this something that's handed down to you, like from family, or is this
I
something that just gets drawn to you?
I think I do have it from both sides of my family, because my mom, when I was a little kid, it didn't get taught out of me. I do think everybody's born with it, though. I think
Oh,
everybody is born with it. I think it gets taught out of most of us in our modern, Western, non-mystical society. We've taken the magic out of everything, even religion. It's like, it's all about left, right. It's like, oh, that's your imaginary friend.
yeah.
Not always. So, and my mom was like, oh yeah, grandma did that. So I think it's on both sides, but I do think everybody can learn it. That's why we started my school last year. We have what we literally call a real life Hogwarts. It's called University Magicus. It's crazy affordable. It's on Zoom, people all over the world. I teach mediumship, psychic development. Everyone can learn it. I teach spell crafting and magic. I have over 20 teachers now, from Catholic priest exorcist to my vampire partner, Father Sebastian. We have a great new werewolf on staff from the University of Washington, Denny Sargent. We have
Oh,
new
wow.
agers and Reiki masters and hypnotists, and we teach the magical arts for cheap.
Wow. Wow.
It's
So,
available to everybody. It's not everybody can develop it. Of course, not everybody can learn piano. Not
well, yeah, but
everybody's
then
going to be
everyone,
a concert virtuoso, but everybody can learn the basics. The same thing with psychic. Some people are going to be blown away better than others, but everybody, it'll help you at very least to develop your own intuition.
okay. Because I was like, something else I was gonna ask too, because like a lot of people don't think it exists, but then there are that do. Like, there really are portals to like different worlds.
Different dimensions, different
Different,
worlds. Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
different dimensions.
Yeah, there are. And and again, and there's many ways to look at it. You could look at it from a scientific perspective, easy. So quantum physics and science and spirituality are crashing together right now due to quantum sciences, quantum physics. It's all coming down to numbers, really. So whether you put a template of pure academic science on top, or Judeo-Christian typical religion on top, or paganism like I would on top, or new age spirituality, the same through lines. I see energy, so it's energy. So yeah, there's this side and there's that side. You could use different names, you could do
Yeah.
different words, because it's basically the template you put on top of this truth, and to use it to navigate. So not one's better than the other. Use the one that works for you to navigate your life.
Oh, okay. All right. And for spells, like the spells you probably get asked to do the most or teach the most is probably like money spells and love spells.
Completely.
So,
Love and money, money and love. That's what everybody wants. And then health and family come third, but love and money, even in psychic work or mediumship work, this is life. We want love, we want money, we need money, we want love. And I'm really good with money spells. I have one online that costs anybody $1. Do it online.
oh wow.
You have to sacrifice a dollar bill. You do.
Oh.
You have to burn it up. You do. And which is a felony, but you don't get in trouble for it unless you try to have the government replace it.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yeah, but like it's just changing the truth. I believe I'm a big believer of that mind, body, spirit of psychology. We'll never surpass our own thought product. So your head has to believe you can make that spell work or that affirmation work or whatever. Mind, body, you got to get off the couch, you got to take action, whether that's I'm going to work out and you go run, or you're going to do a spell, you got to carve your candle. And the spirit, that's the magic or battery that makes it happen. Again, that could be lots of ways. You could do that through traditional religion. Prayer is faith, the spirit to make it happen. You could do it the new age way, visions and affirmations to make it the spirit to make it happen. You could do what I would do, candle working, herbs and oils, dancing around the bonfire. But you, even right now, you could look at everything you've accomplished in your life. You've accomplished a lot. I know that in your life. You had the mind, body, spirit. You believed you could do it and you were worthy of it. You took action toward it, and then you had some magic or spirit or faith behind it. And the stuff you haven't quite accomplished, or all of us haven't quite accomplished, one or two of those things just need a little bit of tweaking. Either you don't really believe you can do it or deserve it, you haven't got off the couch, or you haven't had that faith or spirit behind it. You just tweak them and you get it. Right now, we have to work within the laws of physics, like flying without a plane, can't quite do. But I think that's going to change soon enough when we start using that other 90% of our brain. Just saying.
Oh wow. Yeah, because I was going to ask, like for people who don't know they have that ability to do anything, like how does like one get a money spell or a love spell to work if they don't have like the energy? Or
well, you learn and you practice. I see. I'm not one to very much to have somebody do something for me, because it's your passion that makes a spell go. Like if you hire me to do a spell, I will never have the passion that you want for that love, for that money, for that health. So we would do it together. I know the right herbs. I know the right oils. I know the right moon cycle or lunar cycle. I know the chant to do whatever, but we do it together, even if it's like this. Now there are spellcasters who do it all for somebody. And again, remember, there's fake ones more than there's real ones. So check them out. Yelp reviews, Google, everything, do it. You have to. But like say with a love, and why I'm the good witch, which I don't like black or white, evil or good, but good means a lot of things. Number one, I like Glenda. I like the Wizard of Oz. Number two, I'm good at what I do. And number three, I only do work high vibration. Like if somebody wants a love spell, I'm good with love spells. I could bring you the love of your life, the happiest you've ever been. But if you want a love spell on a specific person, on Bob, I will not do that, because we don't, unless you have Bob's permission. I'm controlling Bob without his permission. I don't, and not that it's good or bad. It's like, then I've created a world where people can control people. That means somebody can control me. I don't want somebody to control me. So if I'll do a love spell to bring you the love of your life, if it's supposed to be Bob, it'll be Bob. But if it isn't, you get somebody better.
Do you? Okay. There you go. Yeah, because I know when people do love spells, they always want it to be a certain person.
I won't do it. Other people will do it again, but you get the Bob, and if it's not supposed to be Bob, it could end up being the worst relationship you ever had in your life, and you can't get rid of it. You need to pay somebody more money to undo it. And
oh wow.
We have to dance. There's fate, things we're born with, this and that we can't control. Fate from the gods, fate for what? There is destiny, things we can, and there is free will. The thing that makes us magical is we have free will. God, the universe, aliens, whatever gave us this. We have choice. We could screw up when we want to, and that's a good thing. Make left path or right path. Go to the mountains. Go to the desert. That's what makes us better than angels in a sense. Angels are dextral. They can do two things: enlighten and protect. Two good things. Enlighten. There's this whole dextral. Everything they have to do is holy. We have the sinstral side. Sinstral doesn't mean, oh, what's where the word sin comes, but it doesn't mean evil. It means shift. But we can go, no, I am going to turn right and I'm going to go to the mountains instead. That's what makes us magic. That's why we really can manifest the life we want. But you have to learn how to dance between fate, destiny, and free will. Because we can't change everything. But what we can't change other people as much as we'd like to control them. We can't, but we can control how we let them affect us, or if we let them affect us. And that's the everything. That's how you start designing your life.
Oh, wow. Okay. And another thing is like, is manifesting, like how does that work? Like, how can you manifest something that you want to happen?
Mind, body, spirit. In the witchcraft, we call it creation, working, dispatch. Creation. Oh, a love spell. I'm going to do on Friday. That's the day of Venus. Right. Okay. I'm going to use rose petals. That's the highest. Okay. We're going to do a bath. That's the mind part. Body is you're sitting there carving that can. The spirit is the drumming around going, yes, 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 whatever. Amen. Aho. So mote it be. It's the same thing. But how we manifest, again, it's that singular focus, the laser beam focus. You see it, you believe it, you smell it, you taste it, you get it. So again, whether you want to use the newer, I'm a manifestor, new age, again, there's your affirmations and vision boards, and you see it and create it, or spell working, or just through faith. We create things, and it's the secret, what they call, or it's the spiritual laws of the universe, or there's a million words for it, but we create everything, and we create everything here before we create it in real life, which most of the time, sadly, we're manifesting to the negative, like, oh, that's going to be hard. You just made it hard. Or like, I struggle for every dime. Now you do. And you're going to keep living that. Change that mind. That's what manifestation is. So again, whether you do it with positive thinking and all the different things, or we control our lives. We are at the driver's seat. People forget and they give away their power all the time. That's what my whole gig is, whether you come to my school or you watch me on TV or you watch me on YouTube, or it's just reminding you that you have the power, nobody else. You have the power. And if you don't have the power, figure out who or what you gave it away to. Did you give it away to somebody else, another person? Did you give it away to fear? We give away everything to fear. Did you give it away to a limiting belief system? Grab it back and you got it.
Oh, wow. And when you encounter spirits, like if you're at someone's house or just talking to someone, like how do you not bring that spirit home?
I have a million ways to do it. Herbs and oils, and I always close. Remember, the biggest portal on your body for something to get in is right where your head and your neck go together. That, like, it goes in and out when you go like this.
Yeah.
Like this is that whole crown of illumination, our five senses, of course, how we see, how we hear, how we smell, how we taste. And then our sixth sense with our third eye here, we all talk about, I see with my inner eye, I see with my taste and smell. But this whole area, but right where with your head and neck come together, that's the biggest portal on our body. And that's where spirits can get in. That's why when you pray in whatever belief system, you bow your head to open that up for spirit, for God. So again, if you're going into a crazy, insane asylum serial killer's house, close it up. You want to open this so you can see them, but you want to close that up so they don't get in you unless you know what you're doing. I use herbs, I use oil. We have many portals on our body, and just intent. Intent is everything. When you walk out of a place, whether you have some Palo Santo to burn or something, just like, you are not welcome here. I'm wiping my hands. You stay here. Thank you. Go in with respect. I'm getting in my car. I'm getting on my bus. I'm sorry. Walk out. I always try to ground people too. After being in that strength, you got to ground yourself because you're in it, like being on a boat. So eat salt or touch iron. That'll ground you right away. So pass out the potato chips, pass out the pretzels after mediumship or seance or paranormal investigation. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And or is like, um sometimes I think like even in like my own personal life, sometimes I think I have negative auras surrounding me. If I'm trying to do something and it doesn't get done, or if I'm trying to manifest something that doesn't come, and I always feel like I have a negative aura. And like, how do you cleanse something like that?
Easy way. It's a million. And it's not your aura is that energy. Everything is energy. So we use different words for things. So if you like, you can go to like a new age store or whatever, and they could take aura pictures. Woo, I'm pink over here and I'm purple over here and I'm green through the heart. And you can see the dark spots, which are that darker energy you're saying. So it's not really your aura, but you have an energy, whether it's an attachment from a spirit or just sadness or whatever. Lots of ways. Breath, you can clear it with breath. You can clear it with a nice salt bath. You can clear it with prayer or whatever works within your religion. You could smudging things. Like I think sage, and I say this all the time, is way overused. I sage my house, I sage my body. Sage, it gets rid of everything, but everything means the good, the love, the years of happiness you put into your home. So it's sometimes you need it, but if you do it, it's so strong, it almost creates a vacuum. So it's like dusting your house and then leaving the doors and windows open in a dust storm. It's like, oh, I feel so good, but it came back. So it could pull back in the same thing, something different or something worse. If you use Palo Santo or different mixes of things, Palo Santo gets rid of the negativity or dark, whether it's just energy or sadness or anger or a ghost or a spirit or a demon, gets rid of the negative, but not the positive. And if you're clearing, go everybody above the equator, but it's opposite below that, because I spend a lot of time counterclockwise to clear, and then you feel it clear, and now fill it back up with everything you do want. Now we're going to go clockwise with sweet incense, ringing a bell. I'm bringing in love to my living room, conversation of my front door. Who gets to come in? People I invite in, people respect. What comes in that window? Fresh air, inspiration, light, beautiful view, your kitchen, yummy food, bedroom, great sleep, great intimacy. Fill it back up with the good things. And then there's not room for the bad stuff to get back in.
Oh, wow. Okay. Cause it's fun because, just recently, probably like a month or two ago, like I live with my mom and my stepdad, and my mom always says, like, oh, I feel like this house is cursed. It's negative, too much bad energy in the house, because like, it's not going into details, but like a lot of crazy stuff happens, like, I mean, not spirit wise, but like a lot of negative stuff happened. And then I went to the shop and bought sage, and I don't know, I think I did it wrong, because after I did the sage in the house, my stepdad lost movement of his legs, and he wound up in a hospital and a rehabilitation for almost a month, and he finally just got out now, and thank God he's walking good again. But it happened like right after I did like the sage. And
Like I said, sage gets rid of everything. Maybe just love and happiness and whatever was keeping him in line, and then that alignment pulled out. So sage is just sparingly and know what you're doing. And again, counterclockwise. I wish you were here. I would just hand you a copy of my book. I've got the easiest, best little house clearing that anybody can do. My book's Old World Magic for the Modern Pitch. No, but you can download it for $6. If you remind me, I'll email you a copy. Print book is $12, ebook or audiobook $6. There is a house clearing. There is love magic. There is bathroom magic. Why you put a little salt in your toilet? Oh wait, I'm releasing all your lower chakras. How to talk to dead people. But this is literally like a book of simple hacks. But yeah, so go clear your house again. I have again a very elemental technique. Like I just said, the counterclockwise, getting rid of everything negative, even thoughts, illness, sadness, confusion, lack of creativity. Then clockwise, love, happiness, full cupboard, joy, creation, music, and you fill it back up.
Well, okay, thank you. You. And
so again, our home, your home needs to be our sanctuary.
You're right about that. Yes.
Just like you dust your house, you got to energetically dust your house regularly. Big clearings, little clearings. Just the best thing everybody could have is a little bell or a little chime when that sounds good. Walk through your house where you're, I do a lot of sound magic. Sound, we know how sound affects us. Even science knows why, getting into now modern binaural beats, this, that sound. But bells bring in good spirits and light. So just ringing a bell through the house to just lighten up, take away sadness, take away anger, ring through the bell, little chimes, you know, think church bells, temple bells. Bells are magic. Sound is magic. So everybody should, you know, you don't have to have a fancy anything, a little bell to just bring in joy on a regular basis.
Okay. Okay. I'll definitely do that. Thank
Get
you.
well.
And before I go, I'm sorry if I kept you on too long.
No, this is fine. You're great. You're a great host. You're a fun host. You have such a beautiful smile. My God.
Thank you. Like, if you want to plug anything, like you got your your podcast that you do every week, and you have a YouTube channel too, right? And your school and your book. So if you could talk a little bit about them, plug them.
Yes, I would love to. Yeah. For a gathering point for everything, it's pattinegri.com, PATTINEGRI.com. And you can get to everything. I do have a regular weekly podcast called The Witching Hour. Again, I bring in amazing guests, and a lot of them are authors or leaders in all sorts of different magical traditions or positivity and things. It drops a new one on Monday, and it's Spotify, Apple, everywhere you get podcasts, usually in the top. The Witching Hour with Patti Negri, because there's other witching hours. It goes also in video on my YouTube page, and on my network, Paraflix. And if you like paranormal stuff, I have a network last year. It's called paraflix.com, PARAFLIXX.com. It's a streaming service like Netflix, but it's all paranormal. We have some horror, some spirituality, but it's cheap. It's $3.99 a month. It looks like Netflix or anything, but it's just all spooky stuff. My book, Old World Magic for the Modern World, you can get on my website, but in most places it's faster to get it on Amazon, ebook or audiobook for $6, print for $12. And it literally, it's a fast, empowering read. I spent more time unwriting it than writing it, knowing that that's what people would like. It's like, oh, who wants my words? They just want to know how to balance out. So that's what it is. And then if you want to learn this crazy stuff, it's my school. It's called universitymagicus.com. Again, you can't, or magicu.org. And we don't teach A1 belief system. Everybody's welcome, so long as it's good and positive. And really, we have good and positive, like I said, vampires, werewolves, Satanists, Catholic priests, but we do positive magic because people misunderstand all of that. But you could learn everything from crystals to astrology to Reiki to darker arts and lighter arts, but all with love. University Magicus. And I'm on all the social media, so I would love it if you follow me, like me. There's a lot of fake me's. I will never contact you and tell you need a reading and I'll give you a discount. Never, ever. I don't. Everything on me is, so on Facebook, it's Patti Negri Psychic Medium, the one with the blue check. On Instagram, it's Patti.Negri, the one with the blue check. On Twitter, it's one with the blue check. Everything else is some old guy in his tidy whities in a foreign country. It's not me. So just find me, and I hate it. Oh my God, people have gotten money out of things, and I gave you $600. I go, I have nothing that costs $600, and you didn't give me $600. And when they did it to a 13-year-old girl who they saw we were at the Winchester Mystery House, and a 13-year-old girl, and fake me contacted and got $130 out of a 13-year-old girl. That's a lot of money. That's like not okay. And they knew she was a 13-year-old girl because so stop that, all you bad people out there. Stop that.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not right.
So anyway, pattinegri.com, you'll get to all of those places. But thank you for having me on. Thank you for this is fun. Again, you're a great host. I love what you do. So keep it up.
Thank you. I appreciate so much. Like this has been awesome. I'm really happy I got a chance to speak to you. Thank you for all the stories and the good advice that you gave. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm a teacher at heart, I guess, really, of all the things I do.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks again for coming on, and have a great rest of the weekend, and happy 23.
Happy 23.
Bye. Okay, where's this? Boom.